Welcome back to another video as part of my 30-day content challenge. I am Charlotte, the only brand babe you ever need. Oh my god, I've never done that before, I promise. I swear to god, I don't do that. Anyways, so today I'm going to talk about something very important, and there's a lot of stress that goes around that, and it is, how do I pick my brand colors, right? And your brand colors are essentially like the 5 or 6 colors that you use to represent your brand. And the reason that this is so important is because there is actually like a massive amount of psychology behind color. You might have heard about it. It's called color theory or color psychology, and it really influences the way that people buy. And your brand colors also say a lot about your brand and what it is that you do. So let's jump right in. But before we get started, just remember to follow along with my journey. Click that like button and click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications, and let's get right into it. Okay, so why is this important? Why is having brand colors important? Well, it's because you want to be consistent. I talk about this a lot, and it's about building brand consistency. To have brand colors, that's basically you saying like, I'm going to decide to use these few colors to represent my brand so that it's going to appear everywhere and it's going to look the same everywhere. So that's about being consistent. And the second thing is, like I said before, your colors say a lot about your brand and what it is that you do. Many people will make a decision within 5 seconds of looking at your brand, and if the colors are off-putting or don't match or doesn't match their internal representation of what it is that they think that you do, you are going to create some distrust and they're going to hesitate on deciding on you. So what's really interesting is I'm going to put up a graphic here, and you can see that in different industries, there's actually a pattern for what colors that they use. For example, in pharmaceuticals or in cereal brands, you might see a lot of blues and reds. And then in anything related to like the earth and related to money, you'll see greens. So you can see here, there's already a trend towards which industries and what colors they use. And that is because of color psychology. So how you can start thinking about choosing your brand colors is being very clear on your messaging. You really need to understand what are your brand personality traits and also who are your target customers. If you have both of these aligned perfectly, you will know what colors will represent both, and it'll be like the perfect happy medium to make both sides happy. If you're a brand about happiness, right, and about opportunity and happiness and creating just like the amazing life that you want, it might look like yellows and blues and blues and something that's very bright. And if your target audience are children, you know, those colors work very well together. But if your target audience is women or seniors, you might want to put in like a pink or a purple in there. So there's a lot of things to think about. I'll just say that again, be very clear on who you are targeting. Understand your brand personality traits and who you are as a brand and what you want to represent in the brand. And then also understand your target audience, because your colors need to match both so that it appeals to both sides. So that's number one. And then the second thing is understanding color psychology and color theory, right? And I can share a bit more about that. I actually will be creating another video that will go more in depth into this. But for example, the color red is all about excitement and passion. And then you have oranges and your yellows. Orange is more about being energetic and being active. And then the yellows are about optimism and cheer and happiness, like I said before. And then green is nature and healing. It has a lot of different vibes there. And blue is traditionally used in the tech world and also to build trust. So you'll have different shades of blue, right? You'll see banks, they use blue. You see tech companies, they use blue, like IBM is blue. You'll have ANZ, which is blue. Intel, like all of those are all blue. And then purple is more about creativity and individuality. Purple is also very like a regal color, so a lot of royals will use the purple. And then you have pink, which is about romance. It's very young, it's very poppy, right? And then black, you have luxury and sophistication. It's like the elite color. It is darkness, like it is manliness. So you can see here that certain colors create different emotions. I'd encourage you to kind of play a game with me, right? So think about a color in your head and then close your eyes. And what are the emotions and what are the memories that come up with you when you think of a certain color? And if you're able to think of that, that already proves that different colors create different emotions. So you want to make sure that you align the right feelings and emotions into your brand using the colors that you pick. And then how you go about actually picking the colors is you're gonna pick about 3 to 4 colors in the beginning. You're gonna have your base color and your accent colors and your neutrals. Other people might refer to this as your primary colors, your complementary colors, and then your neutral colors, right? They're all the same thing. It's basically like, what's the color you're gonna use the most? What's the other color you're gonna use to accent this main color? And then what are all the like background colors that you'll use? That's kind of what you wanna think about. There's a lot of resources online that you can use to kind of just create these color palettes. Once again, I have another video that will come out where I share all of these resources with you. But that's something to think about. You just want to look at different colors and you can pick what are the top 3 and 4 that you think are very complementary and that represent your brand the best. And other ways to get some ideas is you can look at people in your niche. Look at other businesses in your niche and see what colors that they are using. And you can do this across 10 different companies, and that will give you an idea of what other people are used to in your niche. So if you were to go polar opposite, that might be a bit scary because you've gone too far out. But then at the same time, you don't want to just blend in and be like everyone else in the niche. So for example, if everybody in the niche is using this one shade of blue, maybe you don't want to use that shade of blue. You want to use another shade of blue that's similar, right? So it's starting to think like that of how do I have this happy medium of doing what people are used to in my niche, but also standing out in my niche. And those are things that you can play with. And then another way that you can get really creative with choosing your brand colors is by creating a mood board. And a mood board is where you pull together all the colors and all the images and vibes that you like the most, and then you put them on a page. And then you look at what are the colors that are showing up across these images that are really standing out to me. And then you can kind of pick your colors like that. So Canva, you can actually go and use, there's a lot of tools online where you can just upload an image and it will pull out the color palettes of that image for you. So then you can kind of take an average of a few photos that you like. You'll be able to pull out the colors that you want to use in your color palette. So I can drop that link below in the description and you can start playing around with this yourself. And even if you were to Google color palette generator, you'll find so many different resources that can help you get started. So just remember, don't be paralyzed. It's not as hard as it seems, and always you can adjust as you start building your business. You might not get it right the first time. Even me, I'm constantly pivoting and testing my color palettes based on the feedback that I get from my audience and the direction that I'm going in with my branding. So do not be scared. In the beginning, if you want to just pick one color and then have all the other ones as very like background neutral ones, that's perfectly fine. Some people just have one color or 2 colors, and then as you grow, you start to figure out what the rest of your colors are. There is no making mistakes. It's better that you do something than you don't do something. So I'll just recap once again. Just what's very important is that you understand your brand personality traits and who your target audience is. And then once you have that, you can start looking at other people in your niche. You can start doing some research and then picking out 3 to 4 colors that you love the most to represent your brand. Try them out in the beginning. You might not get them right. However, you can always go back in and change it because people love what you do. They're not in love with your brand colors. It'll always change. Right, so I hope that video helps and that it was just a really quick overview of how you can start thinking about your brand colors. I will be going more into depth in those videos, and I can update this video and I'll put the link in the description below. But otherwise, just keep watching the next 30 days because you will find so much useful information in this space. So if there's anybody that you know that is struggling with their brand, please share this video with them and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.